NARAL Pro-Choice America has been helping people gain access to reproductive rights since 1969. NARAL stands for National Abortion and Reproductive Rights Action League. It is located in St. Paul, Minnesota, on the corner of Myrtle and LaSalle. Through legislative action, as well as grassroots organizing, they aim to guarantee every woman the right to make personal decisions regarding the full range of reproductive choices. These include access to not only abortion, but to contraception and accurate sex education.
But I was really attracted to pro-choice because I grew up in a really pro-choice house. I had a very feminist mother, and I was very familiar with what pro-choice meant, and I definitely identified as pro-choice myself.
I really sort of reevaluated my own priorities last summer when the Hobby Lobby decision came out.
I've been in the position of the grassroots organizer since December 2007, which in organizing years is like 50 years.
I took the job because the organization does really good work, and it was a good fit for me with where I was wanting to go in my career. So
it was pretty shocking to me that we were in a place in this country where birth control was not necessarily available to everybody.
The core idea of pro-choice to me means creating a world where people can choose whatever path is best for them.
I've got a 5-year-old daughter, and I don't want her growing up in a world where she doesn't have access to contraception or abortion rights.
Organizations like ours depend heavily on the involvement of the community. And with an issue like choice, we need to make sure people are involved. You can talk about it all you want, but unless people step up and make the events, contact their legislators, show up at the Capitol, go to elections, we're not going to advance a pro-choice agenda.
if that's the type of thing that we know about, where people want a woman having an abortion to have medically accurate information, even if it's not something that they would do themselves, surely we can say, okay, let's make sure that they have that medically accurate information.
And so I think that's really what the choice is about. The choice is about whether, you can make your own decision about whether you want to have an abortion or what reproductive health policies are right for you individually.
To me, being a feminist is believing in equal rights. Mm-hmm. And so when you give people the options to live their life however they want, that's equality to me. So NARAL would do two things at the legislature. We do a lot of defending reproductive rights against anti-choice legislative attacks, and then we do advancing of pro-choice legislation.
So I'm the executive director here at NARAL, and I manage the operations of the office.
Pro-Choice Minnesota, when people think organizations like ours, they think of this big machine with a lot of moving parts internally, but the reality of it is a lot of what we do involves volunteers, it involves interns, it involves just people stepping up and getting involved.
I do fundraising. So I plan all of our events. We do a 5K and 2 fundraising events, and then I also work with individual donors on different things.
So work on our legislative platform, lobby legislators, write fact sheets, do bill monitoring, all that work. If it were an election year, we'd be working on all of our political programs.
Building relationships. Absolutely. I think when you build a relationship with someone, you kind of identify what their stake is in the movement. You identify how this directly affects them. They're really inspired to take action.
I think getting people involved and mad about what's happening, and then engaging them at a further level, so it's not just black and white, but there's nuance.
We want people to feel empowered, like they're making gains. We want to be able to make sure that women have access to the full range of reproductive health options in Minnesota.
Dan Buck, a grassroots organizer at NARAL Pro-Choice Minnesota, centers his focus around getting people involved. One thing that service learners get to do is make awesome buttons.
But you really have to find people's niche if you want to keep them coming back, because that's actually one of the big secrets, is making sure people come back. We cannot let them feel like their time was wasted. That's like the number one rule of volunteers in general, is they cannot feel like their time was wasted. I like to think that when service learners come in, that they get an opportunity to really kind of see how the organization works, for one. It's a very good time to figure out if you want to get involved in the nonprofit world. I think service learners play a huge part in it, and I really hope that they feel like that. And I always encourage service learners, if you don't feel like you're getting the part that you want, if there's something you're not learning, or if there's something you want to know more about, just ask.
Service learners and community members have the chance to be clinic escorts. NARAL Pro-Choice Minnesota works with local Twin Cities clinics and offers volunteers a humbling experience. Dana Johnson, Communications Manager and Director of the Clinic Escort Training, has more.
At the clinic, we have our one rule is do not engage. Essentially, these escorts volunteer a couple times a week, a couple times a month, and their objective is to escort the patient and their companion safely from their car to the door of the clinic. And they do that by basically providing a buffer, and it's kind of like a safe human sandwich between the protesters who are standing outside the clinic protesting abortion or the clinic or abortion care, and the patient who is just trying to access their health care safely and with as little trauma as possible.
NARAL Pro-Choice Minnesota teaches service learners accurate and valuable information about the reproductive rights debate. We, as service learners, were able to see how a grassroots organization operates in various ways, including clinic escorting, legislative sessions, and day-to-day office work. Most importantly, this experience has taught us to apply what we've learned in the social justice minor, like effective community organizing strategies and the importance of theory and practice. We hope that future service learners and community members are motivated to take action and support the work that NARAL Pro-Choice Minnesota does every day.